Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. Cover a couple quick topics, I think. Quick. I always say that. It never is. Whatever. Before we get started on some saws, I am hoping to get a lot done today. I never get as much as I'd hope, but whatever. Got a 3 or 4 I'd like to get through today. Yeah, first thing I want to cover, had an email from a gentleman a couple, 3 days ago, somewhere in there. It was an amusing one. It came in and it was, I really want these parts, but I am not giving you my phone number. And I'm like, oh, I like this guy already. Sounds like me, quite frankly. But then again, we all know, most places you order, you've got to provide a phone number. And it's not necessarily because the business wants it. I'm not going to use your phone number for anything. I could give two shits in a hailstorm. I'm never calling you. When it's put in there, it's because the shipping carriers many times require it, especially for a tracked or insured package. And I believe even USPS now has a base level of $50 on most packages. I'm not sure about first class, but you get what I'm saying. That's why that stuff's there. I am the last person you have to worry about selling your data or calling you to market a bunch of crap. What was ironic and funny, and I felt bad for this gentleman because the way he had contacted me was using the text feature on his phone and putting the email address into that and sending it to me. So I don't know if every carrier does that. I know mine does with US Cellular. His did. So what came through was his phone number at blah blah blah.net. So, like, okay. I just responded with, here's why. I'm never going to use it, but you've already shown me what it is by the way you contacted me. He must not have understood that because about roughly 24 hours later, he sent a second one. He's like, I got the parts in my cart right now, and it will not let me move to payment without a phone number, and I am not giving you my phone number. I'm like, okay. I don't know if he didn't read what I sent back. I don't know if it went to his junk. I don't know if his phone blocked it because it was an email coming in as a text. I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert on phones, and nor do I want to be. Anyhow, I said the same thing again. I said, and I don't know that you understand the way you're contacting me. You've already revealed your phone number, which is, and I typed it out this time. So I wanted him to see I wasn't just blowing smoke up his ass. It's like, no, dude, seriously, what you're doing, if you're concerned about people having your phone number, you're providing it every time you do this. So anyhow, if anybody ever wonders that, that's why it's there. It's about the shipping carriers. It's not about me. I don't track them, I don't record them, and I do not use them. Very simple. I had to make a list, because even as I was making the list, I was forgetting about the stuff I wanted to talk about. Videos and just all of that on the channel here. When I started putting videos up, I want to say about 5 years ago, in earnest, roughly what it's been, there was a real lack of a lot of the kind of stuff that I do. There was some, here and there, but it wasn't, kind of in one place, or it was very model specific, which a lot of what I do is very model specific. But then you get to the carburetors, and not so much. I mean, the Walbros, the Tillotsons, they were used on just about every saw that was produced in the what we are now referring to as the classic saw era, which, So, that's part of why my content has slowed down a little bit. But I would just want to encourage folks, and I'll try to do a screen capture or something if I can, if I have the time this afternoon. As I'm processing this video, and it's super simple from YouTube. Once you're on my channel, you can search, and a simple search. Don't keep it simple. Don't go super specific. If you're looking for something on a Walbro HDC, type HDC. And you're going to see everything I've ever done. I try to put the titles of the videos such that they're easy to find like that. Seeing is better. You know, what I can describe in an email to somebody who's familiar with it's going to work really well. Somebody who's just kind of in their first go around, seeing something on video is definitely going to be better. So I'm trying to keep in mind, you know, what, before I start a saw, go, okay, have I done a video? Lots of times I got to go check. You guys have seen me repair, you know, a little Homelight XL a bazillion enough times, unless it's something that I haven't come across in any regularity or something. You know, if it's just in the carb and fuel hoses, you know, we don't need another video of that necessarily. Parts in stock. I've sort of gotten the word out. My website is not. When I built it, Weebly was my platform. They've since been absorbed by Square. You know, it was pretty good. It wasn't as powerful as maybe Wix or some of those others, but it had the right mix of built-in features that let me build the website without being a coder, without having to know HTML and all that other stuff, which, you know, I understand it's not that terribly difficult if you want to put your mind to it. I didn't want to. I wanted to build a website, move my parts off of eBay, and be done with it. So I gave up some real functionality. And basically, if I want a message to appear on every page, I got to put it on every page. So some of my, many of them at the very top, it'll say, if you don't see it here, I don't have it. I need to keep continuing through and finish all the other main category pages to say that. But I'm also going to get the word out here. I don't sit on a bunch of parts, and if I've got boxes of parts, I have no clue what's in there. Zero. And I'm not going to dig through and make a giant mess of it looking for one little thing. So the short answer, if you don't see it on the web, I probably don't have it. Now, occasionally it's a part number search that's a little off, and, you know, I'm not saying don't email me, but if it's, you know, a rare item like, you know, a piston and cylinder for a Mac 1000, or, you know, a starter handle for a McCulloch, you know, from the 40s, if I had it, it would be on there, because I know that's a valuable part and I'd want to sell it. Speaking of valuable parts, I am working through a decent sized box of Sachs-Dolmar parts from they're from a shop of a friend of mine. And this is one of those things, normally I wouldn't care, well, not that I wouldn't care, I wouldn't go down that road of dealing with Dolmar, just because up until this box came in with 7 or 8 IPLs, I didn't have any IPLs, I don't have any real knowledge of Dolmars. I've worked on a couple, but it was basic stuff, replacing fuel hoses and crap like that. I know they're good saws, I know that things like the 166 are what, you know, very much sought after, but they're just not my specialty or my forte. But, you know, Ron, he's a really good guy, and the gentleman who had the shop, basically, you know, his retirement didn't go quite like he had hoped, and so this is one of those ways I'm going to get him the best price I can for the parts, and still do okay myself, knowing that a lot of them are going to take a while to sell. And along those lines, oh my God, you know, my buddy Jim, Dozer Dude 1 on eBay, he's here locally. He is actually one of the reasons that I'm doing this from all those years ago. Anyway, he had told me, he's like, man, if you ever can get Dolmar parts, get them, because they sell fast and they bring a good price. I always remembered that, so when Ron talked about a mix of Dolmar and Pioneer, like, you know, okay, yeah, we'll figure something out. There's one seller specifically on eBay right now that is trolling bad. If you're looking for Dolmar parts, you'll find him. The best was a cylinder gasket for a 166 that I think he I think he priced it at $90. Somewhere up there. It was enough that I nearly spit coffee on my keyboard this morning when I was going through. Like, you get, wow, boy, someone might pay that. I'm pretty sure I'd experiment with cutting my own, or that might be the first saw that I did a gasket delete on. $90. Wow, okay. So we'll see. I'm not saying that the prices I'm putting on these parts are going to be bargain basement, because they're not, but I hope the prices I put on there are realistic and, you know, don't feel like a complete rip-off to people. But look for that category on my website. If you got some old Dolmar stuff you need some parts for, again, it's not going to be a lot, and it's not going to get replenished. You know, this is not something that I'm moving into, but what I've got, I'm identifying it as best as possible to what models it fits. So check it out. The final thing before I shut up and actually get some work done is the far and away the video with the most views. It is one of those early ones before I really knew kind of what I was doing with the channel and where I was going to go with it, and how much accountability there is for what you say on one of these videos. You know, I never envisioned too many people really giving a rat's ass what I'm doing in a garage here in Phoenix. So that's been a bit of a surprise. But that old oil video, what two-stroke oil do you use, or, you know, whatever it is, you can find it. It's one of my earlier ones. I still get a lot of comments that come through on that. And again, you guys know I don't spend a lot of time reading comments, but one popped up 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it was the typical, I use blah blah blah, you should have done your research before you criticized Walmart's oil, and 80 to 1 is just asking for a seizure. I wouldn't do that to my worst enemy, saw blah 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 blah. Okay, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Most of the time, with wisdom comes age, or screwed that one up, so kind of blows that theory. With age comes wisdom. When I was younger, I'd argue a point. If I thought I was right, man, I'd argue. And I'd argue. And until the other guy shut the hell up and admitted defeat, I'd keep arguing. I don't have time for that crap anymore. This time I did drop a comment on there. A little snark. Could not help myself. Like, well, I just must be lucky and should go buy a lottery ticket, because I haven't seized a saw on 80 to 1. The only saw that I seized was that XL500, and again, I knew that was a risk, and it's documented in the video. When I looked at that piston, I went, it's close. I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to try anyway. Well, it was a burr on the piston. It had nothing to do with the oil. So, anyway, it's kind of funny that those comments still come in. And again, you know, if you're a troll watching this video, which I know the trolls aren't going to, you know, watch a video for constructive purposes, but just keep it to yourself. And for you guys that responded to the video I put about the actual trolls the other day, and like, hey, don't worry about it, don't lose sleep. Trust me, I ain't. I'm not losing 1 ounce of sleep about it. I just think it's funny, and, you know, I would hope that people have better things to do with their time. So anyway, I'm going to shut the hell up and get to work, and if I come across something, I can't remember what all I've got. I've got an XL, baby XL to work on. I've got this little reconditioned 2.0 that I've been trying to get going. I've tried a couple different coils. It had the old beige electronic coil that's obsolete and harder than hell to find, and I found a black one, but I don't think it's compatible with the flywheel based on what it's doing. Anyway, got that thing, couple in a box, or in boxes that came in, so yeah, we'll see where today goes.